Hey guys, welcome to another Hosting Your Academy webinar. Today we will be talking with my guest Gvidas on side hustling and how to make money online. So Gvidas, introduce yourself.
I don't know. Do I need an introduction? No. So I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. If you still remember me, I used to make videos right here at Hosting Your Academy, how to create websites, how to create e-commerce stores, and all other tutorials. I had some webinars as well. So this time I'm a guest, and I have something to talk about. To introduce myself, I don't know what else could tell about myself. Uh, I'm basically a person who likes to have a side hustle every time he has a job, and I'm just not satisfied with like living life just any ordinary person. So I need to have multiple streams of income. So I've been doing this for quite a while now. I believe my whole interest basically in internet marketing started when I was like 14 years old, something like that. And ever since then, I started looking in various methods, in various ways how to make money online. And during this time, I gained some experience, and I believe this knowledge should be valuable for all of you. Maybe Kęstutis might be interested into this as well.
Oh yeah, that's a super interesting topic for me as well, because like making money online or even side hustling as well, any passive income or like active income, any projects, that's like super interesting for me. So yeah, I'm sure that like long time Hosting Your Academy viewers do not even need an introduction for you. They already know who you are. And yeah, you mentioned that your whole like this infatuation with side hustling started at about when you were 14. Do you remember what inspired you to start that?
Totally remember it. I remember when I was 14, I was very interested into skateboarding and BMXing, but I never had enough money to buy those things myself. My mother, she used to tell me, if you want to buy things, you got to save money. So this is where I started looking for ways how to make money online. So eventually I stumbled upon some forums, I talked with some people, and during the years, I learned some methods. I made some money, but I never made enough money when I was younger to buy a bike. So that's how it started. All the thing.
I see. Well, maybe could you tell us a bit more about one of your like first projects?
And the very first project, let me remember. I could tell you about the bigger projects. When I started creating websites, it was around 10 years ago. The first time when I had like experience with WordPress. I remember like around 9-10 years, something like that. I worked in a sushi restaurant as a sushi chef, and I was like rolling sushis. So like I said, I always had this desire to have a side hustle. And I decided that I'm gonna create a blog, a WordPress blog related to sushi. I'm gonna teach people how to make sushi rolls and so on. And this project lasted for about a year. I made around 20 blog posts, and then eventually I gave up on it. So that was the first bigger project when I created a website. But the very first project that helped me to earn money online was uploading various ebooks. It wasn't very like honest work because I was like rewriting ebooks and uploading them for a premium download. So you would have to pay money. So yeah, that was one of the methods how I used to make money when I was like 15 years old, something like that, 14. But
I
yeah, the bigger
see.
project was the website.
Awesome. We already have like one of our first questions. It comes from Sirip, and he's asking, will this webinar be available to watch later? Yes, definitely. We'll be able to watch this webinar on our Hosting Your Academy channel anytime you'd like. Okay, so before we move on to the presentation, is there like anything else you'd like to add?
Not really. I'm just prepared a quite simple presentation. At first, I'm going to talk about just some techniques, methods that you can use to earn some money online. I will share some of my personal stories, how I did it myself. So hopefully this is going to be a useful information. So I guess we can begin.
Okay, that's awesome. And for like everyone that's watching right now, like make sure to enter questions, any questions you might have for me or for Gvidas in the chat, and we will definitely answer them. So, okay, let's go. Let's move on to the presentation part.
Boom. These are my slides. Finally, I can add some of my personality in the slides. I wanted to make this whole presentation a little bit more entertaining, so don't be surprised that some of the slides are gonna have some memes. So, okay, let's begin the journey into money making online. Oh, wrong button, wrong screen. All right, so let's talk about the agenda a little bit. So at first, like I said, I'm gonna talk about side hustles itself. So basically, those ideas gonna be to stimulate your mind, so you would get a better understanding where I'm coming from, So if you're gonna stimulate your mind, you're gonna have a little bit more creative mind, and maybe later on you're gonna use same methods, but you're gonna apply your own twists on these methods, and when you apply your own twists, surprise, surprise, those methods work very well. Later on, I'm gonna talk a little bit about freelancing versus starting your project, the pros and cons, and the last 3 points are basically meshed up into one, because I believe this information should be the most important, because sometimes managing a regular day-to-day job and having a side hustle can be a little bit challenging. And I'm going to talk how you can develop consistency and how to keep the right mindset. And as well, as you can see right here, I have another meme, the first meme I chose to use. So this is basically how I feel when people say that you need to have a good job and that's it. No, I don't feel that way. All right, so I decided that I want to start with this quote. And I believe this quote is very relevant to this topic, by Jim Rohn. If you're not willing to risk the unusual, you'll have to settle for the ordinary. So basically, even running a side hustle, it's not something so extremely ordinary, other people find this quite interesting, and those things are challenging, I'm gonna be honest. But if you wanna go big, you gotta think big, yeah, isn't it? So all right, let's begin. All right, so the very first thing that I decided to include is going to be freelancing, and I'm gonna tell you a story of mine, how I use this method to basically kickstart my professional career as basically online hustler, because once I learned some skills, I was able to create websites and so on. So basically freelancing. And if you are planning to do freelancing, at first I'm just gonna talk about the types of services you could offer, and those services probably gonna work very well. I used to do similar tactics. It was around 8 years ago. It was quite long ago, but they still work. So first of all, if you are a beginner and you don't know where to start, how to make money online, I highly recommend you to check out Fiverr.com. This is where you basically do various gig services for $5 at least. And if you don't have any skills, I highly suggest you to start with content writing. Pick a niche. At first, narrow it down. Don't offer the services like you're writing high quality articles or something like that. Instead of that, start with I will write a cat blog post or blog post about dogs, and you can have multiple services offers gigs, like I will write a blog post about cats, the second one could be about dogs, the third one I'm gonna write a blog post about pets, about birds. You can have multiple gigs if you need to make money right away. I believe this way you will be able to land an order much faster than just focusing on a broad term. The same goes with graphic design. You can create logos. The second gig could be create banners, create infographics. Also, video editing is quite popular nowadays, especially when we are talking about drop shipping ads. These are quite easy to make. And basically, each of these gigs, they don't really require too much of skills, with Photoshop, Illustrator, or Premiere Pro. And you can also do translation services. These are a couple of methods that I tried myself. And here's a story I'm going to tell you about. When I started freelancing, it was, like I said, 8 years ago. And I needed to make some money on the side. As usual, I was working in a customs parking lot. I was like security guard. So during the day, it would be quite busy. And during the night, because I would work like 24 hours constantly, and during the night time there wouldn't be much things to do, so I decided maybe I should try freelancing. I remember back then, my wife, when she was my girlfriend, she was doing like Photoshop work, doing various banners, designs, and so on. And I always found that like cool. I always wanted to learn how to use Photoshop, but I never wanted to to start learning it. I decided, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create a gig on Fiverr that I do graphic design. And I have never used Photoshop or Illustrator, and my gig sounded like I will create an awesome looking logo for $5, something like that, and I have never used Photoshop. So I received a gig. I had 5 days to learn how to use Photoshop and to create a logo. So basically, that's how you do it. You go out of your comfort zone, and if you truly want to make some cash on the side, you can follow my path. That's how I did. And eventually, while I was working, I worked in a customs parking lot for 3 months. It was a summer job. And I
Can
remember.
we quickly just go back to like the Photoshop the
Yeah.
story? That sounds amazing, like learning Photoshop in 5 days. But what I really like care about, was the customer happy with the job you did? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. I
it's only
received.
like $5, but still,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was.
He was happy because, I put in a work in it. I had
Oh yeah.
I had a lot of free time. It was during the night shifts. And I started like when I worked in that customs parking lot, and when I had a lot of free time, I just focused on providing the best results. Of course, I started gaining some information about the fundamentals, learning color psychology, how to use matching colors, and so on. So I learned a little bit of fundamentals, and yeah. If I would look back to that logo I made, it would look like garbage, I believe, But back then, I don't know. It just was fine. Customer was satisfied, and later on, I received more and more orders. So, like I said, eventually, while working in a customs parking lot, I was making almost more money freelancing than working, a
Okay.
regular job.
Another question: would you like for the common questions to be intercepted into the presentation, or should we leave them all in the Q&A section at the end?
Actually, if the question is relevant, you can ask it right away.
It is sort of relevant. It's coming from a person is asking how to use Hostinger in graphic designer freelance marketplace. So what you can use Hostinger for is basically setting up your portfolio page, because like a portfolio page is super important when starting like graphics freelance. Well, unless you're learning Photoshop in like 5 days. Otherwise, it's super handy to have for like bigger orders and stuff. Yeah.
You can start right away. You just start learning Photoshop. You create your website. You do everything at once. This is when you leave comfort zone, and this is when you start growing like I don't know, like a rocket, whatever.
Exactly. With the power of doing everything online, you can do everything super quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, that was good answer. Kestut is amazing.
Let's continue.
All right. So this is another method I have used myself. Again, I'm telling you that those methods are just to stimulate your mind. The most important part will be later. All right. So earn from social media profiles. So for example, you could create Instagram profile, niche profile, let's say in cats niche, where you share like cute cat photos, funny cat memes, adorable cats. Same goes for dogs, for birds, for hamsters, whatever. Just pick your niche and grow your Instagram profile. There are tricks how you can do it. I'm not gonna talk right here about it, but yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's great. Let's continue.
Oh,
I mean, there are
I
some
thought you're
like
gonna.
secret business tricks or something
Oh, I
like
thought
that.
you're gonna ask something. Sorry about that.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so basically when you grow your Instagram profile, I'm gonna give you an example. I don't do this myself, but I receive a request, but I don't do it myself. Otherwise, I will be like promoting my competition. So I don't do that. So for example, I have over 100,000 followers with one of my Instagram profiles where it's in a pet niche, and every now and then, like every other day, I receive offers like to give them a shout out for a product, for a profile itself. And usually it costs around $20, something like that, for 24 hours shout out. So this is how you can make some money on the side as well. The same goes for Facebook pages, but you're gonna earn less if you're gonna have, let's say, 100,000 followers, maybe $15, something like that. And when you have a Facebook page, in this case, you might gonna need to contact companies yourself if you want to get, a shout out from a company. But if you would use Instagram, you could receive like offers from people, from companies, like wanting to promote their products, for 24-hour shout out, something like that. So this is one of the methods. You can give a twist, your own twist to this method. You can use it in any way you want. It's just like I said, it's just to stimulate your mind. All right, the next method, this one is the most important, like earn money with your website. So when I was like making tutorial videos at Hostinger, how to create a website, how to create a blog, I always made those. That meant like I have made a blog in the past, so I can teach others. This was my mindset back then. So I have some experience in creating blogs, niche blogs, print-on-demand websites, drop shipping. So what you can do if you want to earn money with your website, you could start with a blog. I highly recommend you to start at least something, something to have something on the side, and it could be a blog, a niche blog. You could write something that you are passionate about. I don't know, it could be basketball, cats, whatever, And along the way, you should learn such things as SEO. All right, to learn how to grow the blog itself, how to grow your social media profiles, and later on you can monetize your blog. Obviously, you can use Google AdSense to run ads on your website. You can do affiliate marketing, and I don't know if we have enough time. I could tell you so many stories, from my own experience. But here's the thing, in the past, I have used like niche blog for 2 websites. Like I said, I had a sushi website where I was just writing blogs about sushi, and I was using Google AdSense. I wasn't making much, just a couple of dollars per week, something like that. So that was the main reason why I gave up. Later on, I created a gaming blog. It was called PCGameBros.com, and I was basically doing various reviews of gaming headsets, gaming keyboards. I would receive keyboards, headsets from Amazon for free. I would contact sellers. It was back in the day when I lived in UK. I would contact sellers and I would say, like, I'm gonna write you a nice review. I'm gonna post it on my website for a free product. So usually it would work, and I would do affiliate marketing. I would include affiliate link to Amazon product, and this way I would make money from AdSense and from affiliate marketing. So my income increased like tremendously compared to $2 per week. So yeah, you can try this out, but it takes time and it takes patience, like any other method. All right, you could try print on demand, and it's quite good. I have tried it myself, but eventually I moved on to drop shipping. So you could use like WooCommerce. All right, you could set up your website at Hostinger, install WordPress with WooCommerce, and you should go to printful.com. This is basically the place where you can fulfill print-on-demand orders. They do all the printing for you, and basically your WooCommerce store will be directly connected with Printful, and it's gonna be quite easy to fulfill orders. I highly recommend you to start with niche designs. All right, just like with any other method, it's gonna work better. You're gonna see results faster. I can give you a quick example. You could target like truck driver groups in Facebook with some cool T-shirts. It's doable. You could do that. You could do designs yourself, or you could again hire a freelancer at Fiverr. This is how it works. So as well, next thing, you could start dropshipping store, and probably with this one I have the most experience, I would say, with blogging this one. And some of the key points I wanted to talk about, to show you, to focus on, that you should focus on as well. So you should start with niche dropshipping store. It's gonna be easier. You should learn how to grow your social media profiles. So it goes for Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all those profiles. You could, if you are creative enough, you could even use TikTok for attracting new customers. But to be honest, TikTok user base is quite young, so they don't have buying power yet. So, but it's getting there, As well, you should learn some SEO, in any case, when you are starting a website, no matter if it's going to be a business website, print on demand website, dropshipping store, or a regular e-commerce store, the main fundamentals are SEO, search engine optimization. There's no better traffic than organic traffic. It usually converts very well, and you should learn those fundamentals a lot. You should focus on them a lot. So yeah, as well as the time goes by, obviously you want to learn a little bit about ads. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube. I have a channel myself where I talk about Pinterest marketing, Instagram marketing. So later on, if you're interested, you can check it. It's in the description. You should also focus on building email lists, because you want your customers to come back to your store, all right? And not just store. And if you are running a blog, you should do the same. If you have a nice email list, and once you post a blog post, you can inform your readers about that blog post. So this way you're gonna get more traffic. That's fascinating. That's fantastic. And don't forget, track and analyze results. This is very important. Use Google Analytics, Tag Manager, all those tools that you can use to understand your visitors better. This is very important. It took me a while until I learned this. I started my blogs without Google Analytics, and it was a stupid decision. I just didn't know. I just didn't know better. But later on, I realized how important it is. So you should focus on those things as well. All right, let's move on. All right, freelancing versus starting your project. Here I'm going to share some pros and cons, what I found out myself about freelancing and starting your own project. Some of the things might be obvious, but yeah, I'm just going to talk about them. All right, so freelancing pros and cons. First of all, some of the pros are that you can start right away. All right, you don't need a website, you don't need anything. You just can go to Fiverr.com, create your account, and you can start offering various services to your potential customers. Like I said, you could offer writing services or any other type of services, but you should narrow them down, instead of offering like wide range of like, I will write a nice blog post for you. You should offer like, I'm going to write a product description or something like that. So yeah, the more you have services you are offering, probably the more orders you can expect. All right, you will learn new skills. So like I said, like I told in my story, hey, if you have enough dedication and you are willing, you can definitely learn new skills, and quite fast, So next, you can expect to make money sooner. So like I mentioned before, you can expect make money sooner because you don't need to create a website, start from the bottom. You don't need to, let's say, pump out content, add products, or take care of SEO, of social media profiles, and so on. And basically, if you really want to make some money on the side right away, I believe this is a good way to start. And from here, you can of course move on to bigger projects. Like here, I see one person asked us how he can use Hostinger, like graphic designer, if he's a graphic designer. All right, let's say you're offering graphic design services. You can create your portfolio, and you can start growing your like presence online, as a professional. So instead of like having the side hustle, you can turn it into full-time career. And some of the cons are working for someone. So basically, if you are working for someone, it doesn't change much if you have a job. All right, you come back from your regular job and you continue working for someone else. Sometimes it can be frustrating, and it can be also frustrating dealing with clients. Some of the clients can be very demanding, and too much, I would say, and then you could lose your your yourself, you could get angry easily, unless it was my case, and limitations of growth, it's quite limited. If you're a freelancer, you just have this much time, and then you can make this much money. It depends. Of course, you're gonna grow professionally, you're gonna charge more and more your customers, but eventually you're gonna run out of time, so it's quite limited, so that's what I believe. All right. So starting your project, pros and cons. Pros, of course, you have full control. I'm gonna give you a very simple example. Let's say you are Etsy seller. All right, there are a lot of Etsy sellers, and when you are Etsy seller, you are quite limited to selling everything on Etsy. You can use Etsy ads, but you're still limited to Etsy. You can share your products on Facebook. You could try running Facebook ads, Google ads, but you see you're gonna have a difficult time running retargeting ads, doing all those things like creating audiences. So if you are, let's say, Etsy seller, you could think about starting your e-commerce store as well, because you're gonna have more control and you're gonna have basically full control over marketing aspect of your products, and basically in general, if you're gonna start your project, you're gonna have full control. You are your own boss. I know it sounds quite appealing, Uh, to me, it also sounded appealing. Probably that was one of the reasons why I jumped into this whole thing. As well, there's a lot of potential. Like when you are freelancer, uh, you have limited time. And here you basically, I don't know, you can hire people, you can expand, you can grow. So potential is much higher than just being a freelancer. And you will learn a lot of new skills if you're gonna decide that you want to start dropshipping, start a blog. Absolutely, you're gonna learn how to manage social media profiles, how to do SEO, how to write content, and all those things. You're gonna learn some tricks and tactics, all those things. And cons are, it takes time to see results. It can take time. It can take months and months, years, until you start seeing results. Until, let's say, if you are doing drop shipping, it might take some time until you make your first sale. Or if you have a blog, it will take some time until you see organic visitors coming to your website. And usually a lot of people, they give up within like 3-6 months. So it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You got to understand that. And of course, it can be challenging. Because you might feel that nothing's working, and you want to give up. And a lot of people do give up. And I remember when I started my first project, it was like sushi guy TV. All right, I was talking about sushi. If I would try to remember, I think I was using Namecheap hosting back then. So yeah, so I gave up, and because probably I was never getting like any information from my web hosting. Nowadays it's completely different story. There's a lot of tutorials. Hostinger has a lot of tutorials. Here's like Hostinger Academy, where like Kęstutis shows you how to deal with problems and so on. So there's a lot of information nowadays, and you can learn those things, and you can like grow faster when you have this information. When you don't need to look like for this information like it used to be in the past. All right, let's move on. Managing your time and staying productive. I really like this quote by Tim Ferriss, and I thought I'm going to include it. I'm going to include this quote right here. So focus on being productive instead of busy. This one resonates with me a lot, because in the past I was just like being just busy. You probably have experienced something like that as well. When you don't have directions, what do you want to do today? All right, you're just like sitting in front of computer, and I'm just doing something. I'm doing video editing, like I used to do. I'm doing like blog writings, whatever. And that, I didn't have any structure. So the structure is very important, so you will understand what you're doing. Instead of being productive, you'll be just busy. All right, let's talk a little bit about it. So possible challenges. Of course, possible challenges. There's gonna be challenging, and we need to talk about possible challenges. And I can tell from my own experience that you might experience mental fatigue. You might feel burned out. It's quite challenging to juggle multiple things at once. Your regular job and your project. But it's totally worth it. Not just because of like money, but because of personal growth. And it's gonna take some dedication. It's gonna take a lot of dedication, and you might feel a little bit burned out. Yeah, consistency is key, of course, absolutely. Suffering relationships. This one is very important, I would say. If you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, wife or husband, it's extremely important, because you shouldn't let other aspects of your life suffer. I'm talking from my own experience. I had to learn this hard way and sometimes. But if you are focused just on money, on just making money, having a side hustle, and you're ignoring your mental state, if you're ignoring relationships, you're just gonna feel miserable, at the end of the day. Even though you might be productive and kind of consistent with your other projects, but at the end of the day, you're gonna feel miserable, and you don't want to feel miserable. So that's the thing, you gotta take care of other aspects in your life as well. So that would be my tip. Feelings of being stuck. This one is quite common. I know other people who deal with that as well. It's like you're trying to if you're trying to grow your project or your blog, and it seems like you have this interesting and nice tactics, right now, and you like pursuing these tactics. You are trying to do your best for a week, and you don't see any results, and usually you might feel stuck and demotivated, but you gotta go back to your drawing board, maybe have to do some changes. And sometimes you gotta understand that to see results, it might take not just a couple of days, weeks. It could take months, it could take a quarter. It's just the way it is. So yeah, now we talked about possible challenges. Let's talk about manage your time to be productive. So first of all, the things I do myself. So I wanted to mention that. So understand where you spend most of your time. All right. Usually we don't really know where we spend our time. It could be YouTube, it could be Facebook, it could be you spend on editing videos, working with Photoshop. You might have this idea that where you're spending your time, but in reality, you don't really know. So I highly recommend you to check out tool Rescue Time. It just tracks, I know it's not a very appealing word, tracks your activity, what you do, where you spend your time. Is it on Facebook or any other program, or maybe you are gaming or whatever, and you're gonna have a reports, statistics, like weekly statistics that you're gonna be sent to your email, and you're gonna see how productive you were that week, or how productive you were that particular day. You can set your own goals that you want to be productive, like 50%, something like that. That means that 50% of your time spent on in front of computer screen, you're gonna be productive while working with some programs or being on a certain website that's basically your project or whatever. This is where you can do those adjustments. So Rescue Time is a free tool. You can use it if you want. You should create a system. All right. First of all, you should have a bigger picture of what you want to achieve. All right. If you decide that, I want to start a blog, but what's the bigger picture? What's the bigger picture? I want to be the expert in this particular niche. I want to be the most visits getting blog in this particular niche. I want to be the best known expert at something or whatever. Just have a big picture, and don't be afraid of having a bigger picture. If you ain't gonna think big, you ain't gonna achieve big. That's just how it is. Plan each quarter, set goals, and I highly recommend you to check OKR work model. The companies use that model, but I was using something similar for my personal tracking, for personal things I do. But after working at Hostinger, I adapted some type of model to my own daily routine, so I would understand how my progress is doing, so I would understand what I'm doing itself, so later on I'm gonna give you some examples. So track your results so you would understand your growth. Track your results. Use Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets, wherever works for you the best, and track your results. Track visits, track sales, whatever you're doing, you should track everything so you could measure how well you're performing. If you're doing some changes, measure it as well so you understand how things are going, if your changes are affecting positively or negatively or anything like that. So track results. And of course, plan monthly, weekly, daily. You should have like goals. That's what I usually do myself. I have like monthly goals to fix certain things, like to fix all SEO issues with my website. This is the latest goal that I actually have for the quarter, not just month. And I have like weekly goals, let's say, for this main objective. Let's say to fix all those issues, I have to tackle first the most important issues, so that week I'm gonna work on these issues. That day I'm gonna do those things. I'm gonna add some words, I'm gonna increase the count of words because certain products don't have enough words, and do all those other changes. So plan monthly, weekly, and daily. This is gonna help you a lot. It took me a while until I learned this, so yeah, I highly recommend you to do this.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see how passionate you are. I can definitely see how passionate you are about all the having like a system and planning everything out. It seems to have worked out great for you. So I'm really happy to see that.
Oh yeah, thanks for noticing. Yeah, it took me a while until I learned this. If I have learned this sooner, let's say like 6 years ago, I don't know where I would be today. All right, so this is how basically I just want to include the rescue time. This is how basically it looks. This is how weekly reports look that you receive to your email inbox. So basically, you can see how productive I was a particular week, the last week. I would say I wasn't very productive. It's almost 50%. But you can see the most of the time I spend like on Facebook, but actually I don't spend time on Facebook, like, just Facebooking or doing all those things, because most of the time I run pages and do all those things. So posting, memes and all other stuff. And yeah, 22% went to VLC media player because I was watching Office when I was like having a days off, so rewatching Office. And yeah, you can check how well you're doing. And I'm not playing any games. The Witcher 3, my wife, she plays that game. So basically I was way above 50% productive that week. So yeah. All right.
Was that your personal goal, 50% productiveness?
Yeah, my personal goal was to have like average time spent like 4 hours per day being productive, as you can see right here. And I basically managed to accomplish this goal. I spent even more time, but that means that like I spent 4 hours without any pauses, was just like doing, writing, whatever, So yeah, 4 hours. So basically I could say, yeah, I nailed it,
Awesome. Well done.
I should increase this number now. All right, so this is the OKR model. I found it like online, and it's quite simple. You should have your main mission, what you want to do, like I said, the big picture, and what it's gonna take to reach this big picture. You should have objectives and key results and to-do tasks, So I'm gonna show you an example. I could talk about it, but probably I'm not gonna explain this very clearly, so I'm gonna show you example, just a little piece out of my planning. So right here I have the goal. objective of this quarter, double the traffic and show up in similar web reports, so I should get around 20,000 visits per month at least, something like that. I hope so to accomplish this. And to accomplish this objective, as you can see, I have some results that I need to reach. So I have to post more blog posts, I have to add new products, fix products, upsells, and those are just some things I should do, and fix blogs and so on, so I could accomplish this objective to double my traffic. I believe once I add more blog posts and do all other things, I will be able to accomplish this objective. The same goes for YouTube. I have this small goal for YouTube to reach monetization level. I have a channel, but I have abandoned this channel lately. So yeah, this is the goals and objectives and key results. So maybe it's gonna help you to understand better how to plan things, because it's very important, I believe. All right, how to stay consistent. I used to do lists daily, weekly, monthly. I used to do lists. I forgot a comma. Because this way otherwise you're gonna be just busy instead of being productive. All right, in the past I used to use notes, just regular sticky notes. I would each evening I would make a list of things I want to do, and I would have, like in the restaurants, you have this thing, where you put your orders, bomb, and that means you killed that order, you
Yeah, it's
nailed.
done.
Yeah, it's done. So that's exactly what I used to do with my to-do tasks. If I accomplished everything that day, that means I can kill that list, and I would collect those, like all this on one nail. So it was quite interesting, but it wasn't so good as using other things. So yeah, you can use notes, you can use on virtual notes, whatever works best for you. Also, you could use Google Calendar. I've been using it for, actually I learned this trick at Hostinger. So I'm very thankful for people who kept like telling me you should start using it. I always thought that my system is perfect. so yeah, I started using Google Calendar, and later on I will show you how it looks. So basically, in your Google Calendar, you add, instead of adding things to do to your to-do list, you just add those things to your Google Calendar, and every time you get a reminder to your phone that this is the task you should be working on. All right, so use Google Calendar and use previously mentioned tools like Rescue Time. It's going to help you a lot to understand where you spend your time. Otherwise, if you don't know where you spend your time, how else you can improve, your productivity levels, if you don't know where your time is going, And don't forget about recovery time. Basically, you have to take rest to stay consistent. It's very important. Otherwise, if you're gonna start working like a workhorse, without seeing any days off, without having any days off, you're gonna have this burnout way faster, and you need recovery time. It's the same as going to the gym. You just push yourself more, and you have to recover. If you want to grow, if you want to get stronger. The same goes with your side hustling. That I like to say, growing your marketing muscles. So yeah, let's move on. So like I mentioned before, this is how my calendar usually looks. And you just add things to your calendar, the things you want to do, and that's it. As you can see, I have a lunchtime. I have different colors for different things. That means I have to focus more on them and so on. So yeah, you could try it out yourself, and it's very helpful. I tried it myself, and it works very well. All right, let's move on. Keeping the right mindset. So treat your projects as a real business. If you are running a dropshipping store, let's say, it's just like real business. You're just not like sending out products yourself, but you are running business. You are attracting new customers. You are trying to think of the ways how to grow your drop shipping store, or how to grow your blog, or how to attract visitors to your portfolio website. It's basically a business, and you gotta treat it as business. You're doing business, so you are a businessman. All right. So as well, you should track results, and this will help to keep your spirit up. By tracking results, you could better understand how you are performing. Let's say you can compare your results from the previous year to this year, and you can see if you did any improvements or not. If you, because in a lot of times we people tend to forget our progress. It seems like, oh, I can remember everything, how I was doing well in the past year, and I can compare it. No, you cannot, because you don't know the numbers. And if you see if you're doing well, if you're doing better than the previous year, you're gonna feel motivated. Of course, you're gonna feel motivated, because if you're doing better than previous year, it's possible that you're gonna do better next year. And the next year, if you're gonna keep tracking your results. Like I said previously, it's a marathon. It will take some time to succeed. So you gotta have this mindset. You gotta understand that it's not like a sprint. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some effort, and of course, it's gonna take a lot of effort if you are having like a daily job. But it's worth it. It's totally worth it. And of course, set goals to learn new things at the same time. You shouldn't just be focused like on growing and then expanding. As well, I highly recommend you to learn new things. Let's say learn how to use a certain social media platform, learn how to use a certain ads platform like Pinterest ads. Let's put, for example, Facebook ads. This is something you are learning, and something you learn like running Facebook ads is going to be helpful with running your projects. And work in sprints. Basically, this is something learned. I basically do myself, not learned. It's gonna be a basketball example. So that's how I usually do, and I usually did. Nowadays, I do a little bit differently, but here's how it goes. So in the past, I wanted to be a professional basketball player. I would train every single day. I would go to practice every single day. I would play a lot of basketball. I would do all sorts of workouts, to improve my skills. And I always knew that, in the summer I can improve my skills even better, because I can focus only on working out, instead of going to school, instead of worrying about homework and doing all those things. I can solely focus my whole energy to getting better, those 3 months. And the same goes to how I used to do. I have changed like 9 jobs already. I have worked as a security guard, as I said, sushi chef, construction worker, and so on and so on. And every single time I would save money. Every single time I would save money. It's basically related to finances as well. You gotta save money, and I would save enough money so I could like not work at least for 5 months. If I don't need to work for 5 months, that means I can fully focus 5 months on my projects, on growing my things, growing professionally, and I don't need to worry about money. I don't need to worry about going to job, or whatever. I can purely focus on that. And you start value things, you start value things after you leave job, and you go on that sprint to grow professional, to grow your projects. So that's how it works. That's how I used to do. I used to save money, and so I could leave a job and I could completely focus on my projects. And later on, if I need a job, I would get a job. But at the end of the day, I would have gained more experience, because it's all about the time. Time is the most precious thing. You can make money, but you'll never make time. All right, so that's it. Thank you. That's all I had to talk about.
Awesome. That was like a super inspiring presentation for like people who have their own ideas to start a business and all. A ton of like great tips and coming from an experienced and successful person. So while we were going over the presentation, there were a few questions we got, and also, guys, you can post more questions in the comments. We'll be sure to go over them. So let me just take a moment and find the first one that hasn't been answered. Let's see here. Person was asking about hosting your affiliate program, or maybe like affiliate programs in general. Would you have like any like secrets, any tips you'd like to share on that topic?
If he is asking about hosting an affiliate program, yeah, I have some tips. Basically, the similar thing we were doing, like with hosting your videos, attracting new people by providing them good content, good tutorials. So I believe the same goes if you want to grow as an affiliate marketer, offering affiliate hosting services. All right, you gotta provide a good, valuable content for viewers. Let's say if you're planning to do a YouTube, or if you're planning to write a blog post, how to create websites and so on, you just gotta provide value to your viewers, to your readers, and that's it. You gotta focus on providing better content than others, to teach people. Otherwise, you're not gonna get affiliate sales if you're just gonna spam your affiliate link just like other people do. You just gotta provide value.
And that, well, basically making better content, it comes with experience. Like the more content you make, the better it's going to get. So like, do not get discouraged and just keep on making the content, even if like your first like experiences and with affiliate marketing do not go really great. As like Gvidas mentioned, it's like more of a marathon than a sprint.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to another question. So a person was asking, Elisa actually was asking, she said she can write in English, but it's not her native language. And did you find any problems with freelancing if like not 100% perfect language?
At first, yeah, because at first I thought I'm so good at writing, but later on I realized not so much. But as time went by, gained more and more practice. Later on, I found out a tool that is called Grammarly. That helps you to write content. Nowadays, this tool is extremely advanced. In the past, it wasn't good so much as it's today. But yeah, you can use Grammarly. It's gonna help you to write in better English. That's for sure. But you shouldn't face any problems. And a lot of times nowadays, like I said, I don't do freelancing. I just buy stuff from freelancers myself. I usually like to look for cheaper creators, content creators, and I like, to be honest, to hire freelancers from smaller countries, because they value orders more, I believe. And yeah, the content is not perfect, but I'm completely satisfied because it doesn't cost much, and if I need to do any changes, I do it myself. So you shouldn't be discouraged if your English is not perfect. It's never gonna be perfect.
And if it's not going to get any better if you don't like use it like actively, like do freelancing and do orders. So Gvidas learned Photoshop in like 5 days to fill in an order. So
yeah,
learning another language, maybe it'll take more than one order and more than 5 days, but that's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Okay, another question about drop shipping. Is there a possibility to start drop shipping for free? Is it necessary to start by using Shopify?
You could start it for free in some way using webhost 00, if I'm remembering it correctly. But it's not. You shouldn't be like discouraged to invest a little bit of money. I know Shopify can be quite expensive, compared to running WordPress with WooCommerce website, because you would pay like $5 per month with a shared web hosting plan, and it's completely enough because in the beginning you don't get a lot of traffic to your website. So you could start with WordPress and WooCommerce and set up a website using let's say Hostinger's web hosting. It's quite cheap and it's very good, and this way you could start for less money than you would start with Shopify. But of course, if you want to have a fully functioning dropshipping store, you're gonna need some type of tool or plugin that can fulfill your orders, automatically, like a lead dropship, and that plugin costs money, but it's like one-time payment, $60, something like that. I don't really remember. But you can add products yourself manually. You can add just using WooCommerce, and this way you wouldn't need to pay for fulfillment, that tool plugin or whatever. But it's not going to be convenient, but you can do it. You can run drop shipping store with as low as like $5 per month, something like that.
Yeah, so make sure to take advantage of our discount code HA10 to get 10% off to make that plan even cheaper, so you can start out. And there are like other ways you can start freelancing, and just to gain that like base capital to start out your drop shipping business. There are other like ways you can make money online without any like initial investment. Another like comment, it's not really a question, but it's like another thing I'd like to talk about. A person said that you need to be a part of a community of like-minded people, otherwise you can feel stuck. This is in the terms of like it being a marathon, there being like a lot of time where no obvious progress is being made. How do you find a community that's maybe interested? Are there any communities that are based on like side hustling and making money online and stuff like that? Are there any communities you'd like to shout out?
Not really.
Not really.
Actually, I'm growing my own community. I have a Facebook group, but I have a YouTube channel where I upload videos. Like I said, I'm trying to grow it myself. In the past, I used to be a member of various advertising groups, SEO groups, and so on. Later on, I found a group a while back ago, ClickFunnels group, something like that. Those groups can be useful, but in a lot of times I find people just bragging about things, and that's it. No real information. And the one place where I usually like to go, it's online marketing forums like Black Hat World. This forum is full of like-minded people, who are basically side hustles, business owners, and so on. So this is where you can find like-minded people. This is a truly nice place to be at.
Awesome. Another comment said that the big issue is traffic on a website. Any good like tips on growing traffic to your website?
Is it a big issue when you're getting too much traffic? I won't say
You need a more powerful hosting plan. Yeah.
No, actually, on a serious note, traffic can be an issue, because in a lot of times you may get discouraged, because you're not getting any traffic. But again, you should have a plan. You should have a strategy. If you are, let's say, pumping out blog posts and you have a niche, don't forget to do a keyword research. Don't target too competitive keywords at first. First of all, you gotta build a momentum. Grow your. One of the best places I like to get traffic is Pinterest, by the way. Because Pinterest is not like any other social media platform. It's more like a search engine / social media platform where you look for ideas. And basically, for example, if I have a Facebook page that has like 500,000 likes, something like that, I make a post with a blog post, I would get nice amount of traffic, of course, but within 2 days, I wouldn't get any traffic at all anymore. But it doesn't go the same. It doesn't go for Pinterest. Pinterest, once you make a post, you optimize it, you can expect getting passive traffic. Let's put it this way, just like from Google. But of course, you should focus a lot on SEO. Learn at least basics. Learn how to do keyword research. Use tools for that. Understand that some tools are expensive, but there are always cheaper alternatives.
Yeah, so it basically just takes time and a lot of digging through like online knowledge bases and gathering knowledge on SEO and also making posts on Pinterest. Awesome. Let's move on to another question coming from Emma. She's asking, what was the most successful side hustle idea of yours, and what was the thing that made you step out of your comfort zone regarding side hustling?
Hey, Emma. What was the most successful side hustle idea of yours? I believe dropshipping was the most successful when we are talking money wise. Uh, Probably one of the probably other idea which was quite good as well was that gaming blog that had a lot of potential, but for some reason I just like completely abandoned it. So yeah, but money wise was the biggest project was drop shipping store, and the pets niche grew it to quite huge numbers on social media. I have in total around, I don't know, combine all social media platforms like 700,000 followers at least. uh, and what was the thing that made you step out of your comfort zone regarding side hustling? I believe this thing that made me step out of my comfort zone was, you know what, when every time I would have like job, and in the past, it used to be in the past, every time I would have a job and I would leave from that job, and I always would tell myself, I'm never coming back to that job. So, you know, and this is where you push yourself out of your comfort zone because money is running out and you got to make some income, you know. And yeah, that's what usually pushed me from the comfort zone the most.
And some more questions from Emma. What are your tips, you would say, to a beginner of side hustling with, let's say, their idea of starting a site with some kind of a merch or something else?
Thing or tips you would say to the beginner of oh, the merch. It depends on what type of merch is that going to be, you know. If it's going to be, I don't know, yeah, maybe you are like influencer type person and you're working with your merch, or just regular merch, something like related to a certain topics. My tips would be focus on social media channels, because if that merch is targeted to a younger audience, you know, you should and if that merch is cool looking, you know, interesting, some cool t-shirts or whatever, they usually work very well on social media. And so grow your social media presence. Don't forget growing and optimizing your products itself, you know, just the regular things, you know, nothing too fancy, you know.
Awesome. Thank you, Emma, for these questions. Let's continue. Let's see what we have there. You mentioned your YouTube channel a couple of times. Are you going to give us a link or a shout out, or like how can we find it?
There's a link in description of this webinar. You're gonna find this link in description. I haven't uploaded videos in a while, so don't be surprised, but I have some videos that are in progress already. So probably this week I'm gonna release a new video. So if you're interested, you can check me out there, and you can check me out at Hostinger Academy.
Oh yeah, there's still a ton of videos with Gvidas on here. So yeah,
Yeah,
let's help Gvidas reach his OKR goal of gaining the certain number of subscribers and getting AdSense on his channel.
thank you very
And
much.
speaking of which, how to AdSense easily?
Easily.
I don't think there's like a way to do something easily. You just need to work on it and just reach that goal. Like plan
Yeah,
everything out and basically use all the tips we went over through this whole seminar,
totally,
webinar, and you'll definitely reach that goal.
totally.
What's the easiest way of making money on Fiverr? What gig could help me start fast? Another question on how to make money like easily and fastest. Like everybody wants to do everything like super fast and easily and so on, but things like this, they definitely take some time to learn. Like all this knowledge that Gvidas shared with us today, it took like what, 8 or even more years to gather, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of years, you know. And by the way, if you want to make fast, you could try creating infographics for $5. Absolutely, you should get to order very fast, but it's gonna take a lot of time to complete this order, you know. Yeah, but there's nothing easy, you know. There's nothing easy, and I guess this is the best part about it, you know. If it would be so easy, imagine what competition would be.
Yeah. Let's see here. Amazon affiliate. Does it work if the customers are from different countries? Do you have any experience working with Amazon affiliates?
If it
You
works,
mentioned getting like headsets and various gaming peripherals,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I used to have this. How I used to do it, since my content was in English, so obviously most of my visitors gonna be without doubt from United States. Some of them gonna be from UK. Others will be from Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and so on. But I usually would focus most on US audience and UK audience. So I had like UK, Amazon.co.uk affiliate links as well, affiliate profile, and I had at .com. As I remember in the past, it used to be like that. Probably till this day, it's like that. And there was such plugin. I don't really remember how it was called. That depending on your visitor's IP, he would get a certain link. If that visitor was from UK, he would get a UK version of Amazon product and so on. But in any case, most of my affiliate earnings came from US, and I could say that without a doubt, only like 10% at most were from UK.
I see. Let's continue to another question. What's the best niche to focus on social media to make money there? Well, we already started like discussed infographics, but like in terms of niches, you mentioned that you were into gaming, sushi, pets. How did you like got involved with all these various super different kinds of like categories?
Uh, it's quite simple, I used to read a lot of tutorials who said, "Oh, pick a niche that's doing the best, that's hot," and so on. I never believed that. What I did is the reason why I started with sushi. It was because I was working at sushi restaurant. I thought, okay, I'm gonna like uh, gonna kill two birds with one stone. While I know how to roll sushi, I can make a blog. Gaming, I was back in the day. I was quite interested into gaming. I was playing Fallout 4 a lot, and I decided that I could start a blog, something related to Fallout, to gaming in general. That's exactly what I did. With pets, it was the same story. It was with cats, because when I moved to UK, I never had a cat. I never owned a cat. Uh, but in reality, you can never own a cat, because the cat owns you. So there was I lived with one person, and he was the landlord, and he had a cat, and for some reason that cat decided to hang out with me instead, with that landlord, and she would spend time with me. And one day I thought maybe I could make a t-shirt, out of you, some funny t-shirt, something like that. And
You
this is
wanted to make a t-shirt out of the cat?
yeah. Well, I decided to take a photo of her face, and she looked
Okay.
quite ridiculous. I did some photoshopping and all other things, and then I made a T-shirt to sell it for print on demand, and later on it transformed into drop shipping and so on. So
So the
yeah,
Photoshop skills definitely came in useful on that one.
I would say, going back to this question, I would say maybe you should do something that you're interested in, that you're probably, the best case scenario would be that you're passionate about, because it's going to be easier, to stay consistent. If you are just doing this for the money, for quick money, and you're not passionate about a certain niche, there are bigger chances that you're going to fail.
Awesome. And the last few questions. Let's go here. Multitasking, is it good or bad?
I think it's good. It depends how deeply you are into multitasking. But if you can accomplish like two or more things at once without making them like suffer, that's okay. There's no problem with multitasking. But if you're bad at multitasking and you're just doing one thing half good and another thing even less good, so maybe instead of multitasking, you should focus on one task. Yeah.
From personal experience, it really depends what kind of person you are. There's like no definite answer if multitasking is good or bad. It's more of a case if it's good or bad for you personally, because some people can focus on multiple things while others need some more time to focus on one thing. And the last question: how big is your email list, and do you copy?
And do you do copy? No, my email list. I don't have too many emails. Actually, I don't know. It's I can say that it's how to put it this way. I don't want to reveal too much information.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
completely
it's
understandable.
getting closer to 10K. So yeah, this is the email list for my project. I have other projects as well where I teach like people and other stuff. That email list is a little bit larger. So yeah, that's all.
And like one more question just came in at the last minute. We already discussed this. How to get more views to site? Well, basically, you can go rewatch this webinar for tons of like amazing tips. But basically, just focus on SEO and make posts on Pinterest. That seems to work really great. Okay, Gvidas, thank you for your time. A really inspiring webinar. There's like a ton of super useful information for anyone that's looking to start their side hustle and start making money online. Would there be anything else you'd like to add?
I don't know. Thanks for having me, Kęstutis. It was nice to be on the other side. And if you want to see more videos, you can check my YouTube channel. I don't want to
Awesome.
promote it too much, But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for having me. Hopefully in the future, maybe you're gonna invite me one more time,
Definitely. Well, thank you. And thank you to all our viewers. And I hope you have a really nice day. See ya.
Thank you. Goodbye.